Hi, today we will learn several languages, which are Dutch, Indonesian, English, and Japanese. First of all, we will focus here with Dutch, because I'm not sure whether I have to put it as SVO or SOV, because several Dutch sentences have more than one verb. The first verb will be placed here at the second position most of the times, and the second verb, if it's available, academically or formally, should be at the end of your sentence. But casually or in daily conversation, maybe it will appear here. You don't have to wait until here, but it's gonna be here. But don't expect the second verb just mentioned right after the first verb, because you have to collect some other information first until you kind of get to know about the second verb. That's the rule or the rules. And there is list of several words that if you use the word from that list, it will kick your verb to the end of the sentence. And there is also another list of words that if you use word from that list, it will switch your subject and first verb in first. The first verb first, and then after that the subject. Now we will learn about first verb and second verb. There are 4 formations at least. The first one, if the verb itself consists of 2 words at least, or as a phrase of 2 words, the first one will be here, then after that here. For example, go eating, go to eat. The go itself, it will be considered as first verb. It's gonna be here or here. Go, and then eating or to eat, considered as the second verb, it will appear here. That's why, based on my own experience, sometimes you have to pay attention when people say something. Go, you will collect another information first, and then after that you will kind of get the idea, oh, go eat or go eating, go to eat, because the possibility can be other stuff too. But you have to wait sometimes till the end of your sentence or the sentence, or at least it's here. But don't expect right after the first verb. Second, when you hear someone use modal or modals, for example, in English, can, may, must. This modal is the first verb. It will be here. Can, may, must. And the second verb, it will be here, formally or academically, but casually in daily conversation may be here, but don't expect to be mentioned right after the first verb. In this case is the modal, because that's not gonna happen. The rule is you have to collect other information first, and the second verb is ended or has suffix an in Dutch. Be careful. The modal itself in Dutch is not only in one form for any kind of subject, because, for example, can in Dutch, kan, kunt, or kunnen. It depends on the subject. And kult in Dutch is also in this case, 2 forms. Kon and condemn. It depends on the subject that you use. And now the will. In Dutch, will is not the same with will in English, because if we use will in Dutch, it's translated as want in English. The will itself is zal, zult, or zullen. It depends on the subject that you use. And would is zou or zouden. It depends on the subject that you use. The second verb will be also has an as suffix. First verb or the modal here, and then later the second verb here. You have to wait, can collect other information first, and then finally you will know can eat, can sleep, can drink. Sometimes it will be here. You will collect another information first, whether here or until here, then finally you get the idea about what is the verb, the quotes real verb of the sentence itself. And now about this base form or infinitive, in English we divide into V and VS or do, does, but in Dutch it is divided into three. First one, for I, of course Dutch I, we don't do anything here, just the base form or infinitive. But for he, she, it, the base form or infinitive will have or will has T as its suffix. And for subject that consists more than one or plural, the base form or infinitive will have an as suffix. In English, V and VS. In Dutch, the V or V with T as suffix or V with an as suffix. And now the past simple or irregular past in Dutch, it has at least two forms. It depends on the subject. In English, the past simple or irregular past, for any kind of subject, we use the same word for it. For every kind of action, for specific action, same past simple or irregular past. But in Dutch, subject that consists of one use this. Some verb will has or have the or the as the suffix, and subject with or more than one plurals have ten or den as the past simple or irregular past suffix. So it's not only one but at least two. Singular subject the or the, and plural the past simple or irregular past with ten or den as suffix. And there is another way to, I'm not sure whether this can be considered as the past participle or not, because sometimes you can use the same activity about something already happened in past. Some people use this, and some people also use for the same occasion or activity stuff with this one too. So I'm not sure whether I have to say that this is the same with this and this one the same with this, or this and this the same. I'm not sure about it. That's why maybe in Dutch it has 1, 2, 3 or 4 tenses, 4 or 3 tenses, because I'm not sure about this one and this one. Sometimes for something that happened in the past, you use this or this. This will be the first verb here. You use sein. It's translated as to be in English. Of course, it's not only sein because it depends on the subject that you use. Or have, and it's not only have or has in English, two words for have. In Dutch, at least it is heb, hebt, heeft, hebben. At least it has 4 words to mention this heb. It depends on the subject itself. This sein or have here or here, and the second verb ge something is here as the second verb. Yeah. I keep asking what's the difference when you use this, the past simple or irregular past. Of course, it depends on the subject. Sometimes the, ten, den as suffix, and sometimes you use this. Sometimes the time signal and also the time that it happened is quite similar, but people use this. Sometimes people use this, so I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure whether it's in three tenses or 4 tenses. Yeah. And now the plural nouns. In English, some noun will has suffix s or have suffix s. Why I keep saying will has, or suffix es. And in Dutch, the suffix itself to make a noun become plurals, en or apostrophe s or s. It depends on the noun itself. And in Indonesian, there's only one way. You repeat the noun and then you put hyphen in between. Even though you have these plurals, but when we want to say or write, for example, 5 houses in English, it should be in plurals because the house is more than 1, 5. But in Indonesian, it is incorrect if you do it in 5 houses because it should be 5 house instead of 5 houses. Because we know house, 5 house. It's not 5 more than 1 house, but 5 of 1 house. And in Japanese, there is no plural noun. Now we will talk about the or determiner. In Japanese, there's no determiner or the. In English, of course, the. In Indonesian, there's no the. That's why sometimes I find it hard to explain or translate the because it can be into several words that's kind of not so correctly translate this the. It becomes really long just to mention or to translate this the. And in Dutch itself, the comes in 2 words. One is het, the other one is the. Most of the times we use the for thing or things that created by God or nature, natural. But not most of the time, it's just majority. But one thing you're sure about using the is when the noun itself is in plural. For example, if the noun itself is ended with an, of course, it means plural, more than 1. Of course, the as the, because the is for plural nouns, for sure. And had is for sure used as the in English for small or little noun. How you know if the noun measurement or size is small is by the suffix of the noun itself. Sometimes is je, sometimes is je. It depends on the noun itself. In that case, the itself in Dutch is het. But be careful if you find je or je, but then after that s, yes or jes. It means the object or the thing itself is small, but it's more than one or plural. That's why you have to use the as your the. And now in Japanese, for example, this is a place, Japan, and then to. The way you pronounce it or write it is the place it first and then the to. For example, Japan to or Indonesia to. And person or subject and then from. For example, from Ira. Ira is my name, or from her. In Japanese is Ira or her first, and then after that from. In Indonesian, if you want to say purple ball, you have to say it in ball and then purple. The noun first and then the adjective. For example, cute cat. In Indonesian, it's gonna be cat cute. And this one, ball purple. And possession in Indonesian, the thing or things first, and then after that the my or Ira's, your, her, their. For example, house and then Ira, it's gonna be house Ira. Or house my, house your, house their, house her. And in Indonesia, also several countries, especially in Southeast Asia, we use this when we have to learn about tenses or different kind of verbs instead of using these words, because maybe that is the easiest way to learn in logical way. In Indonesian, there is no tense because we use the same verb for any kind of subject, and whether it is happening now or later in the future or it's already past, we use the same verb. So how you know whether it's now or later in the future or it's already past is by adding at least one word in front of the verb. And there's no difference for any kind of subject, we use the same verb. That's why we use this in Indonesian, V1, V2, V3, V-ing or verb ing. And in English itself, of course, some people might say there are 12 tenses. Some people might say that there are 16 tenses. But in Indonesian, there's no tense. We just add at least one word to say it as done, has done, already done, now happening, later. In Japanese, there are two tenses. One is for the present, the other one is for the past. And now, last one. In Indonesian, also Japanese, especially in daily conversation or casually, most of the times we just mention the subject at the first sentence. The sentences after that will kind of not mention any subject because we kind of already know that the context is about the subject that was mentioned in the beginning, in the first sentence. That's why just here, subject, and then after that will not have any subject at all. But in English and in Dutch, the sentence will not considered as complete or understandable. It will be ambigu or ambiguity if you don't use subject in your sentence. But in Indonesian and Japanese, just first one. After that, no need to keep repeating mentioning the subject. The context is the same. And this, in Indonesian, also Japanese, even though there are this syntax regulation or something like that, but most of the times we use our sentence in a simplest way. The subject can be in the middle or at the beginning or almost at the end or at the end of your sentence, or sometimes there's no subject, or sometimes it's just one or two words and that is good enough, especially for daily conversation or casually. For example, fruit just bought yesterday, the market. It's so cheap. Blue, yeah, sometimes red. Yeah, for example, it is like that. Thank you.